Okay, so I just wanted to check in briefly. I really don't have much to report. It's Monday, February 23rd, and I'm going into my second week of the contest prep and diet. I was actually really happy to hear back from Jeff this past weekend. I think he said this coming week I'm going to be on the same macros and the same calories. So I don't have to change it up too much, and that's good because I feel like I'm just starting to get used to the diet, and I'm starting to, get used to the routine and as far as what I can and can't eat and that sort of thing. So it's nice to sort of maintain the same amount of calories and macros for the next week, and I'm actually really excited. I've actually gotten pretty creative. I think last time I mentioned that I was going to be doing burritos for lunch, and I actually did those yesterday. I prepped everything yesterday, and I had one for lunch yesterday, and it was kind of funny because my wife was sitting there and she thought it smelled really good, so I thought that was a good sign, and she was actually wanting a bite. So anyway, I made enough for her for the week, so she and I are going to be eating that for lunch, and we had it today, and it really is. It's actually delicious. It's like you don't even realize that it's healthy. I mean, I guess there's a little bit of fat and carbs from the burrito shell, even though it's that low carb option, but it's still really, really good. It's a turkey burrito. It's got rice and beans and sour cream, fat free, of course. So that's decent. I'm really excited about that. Actually, I think yesterday was like the first day where I really felt like I was able to eat like a good day's worth of food that made me feel good. I felt pretty good last night before going to bed. I had that burrito, and in the morning I did the Greek yogurt, which was really good with the fruit, and I made a different type of chicken yesterday for the week, and I had serving of that yesterday, and it was really good. I actually got the recipe off of bodybuilding.com. It was called Gold Rush Chicken, which I think it's got like primarily mustard, some cinnamon, a little bit of honey, which is kind of high in the sugar and kind of raises the calories a little more than I'd like, but I think that's okay because it's basically just a coating on the chicken, and after you cook it, I think most of that is gone anyway. And that's actually really good. And maybe I'll actually pull one out of the fridge here in a second and show you what that looks like, because I was really happy with the way those turned out, and they're pretty decent. So yeah, I feel pretty good about the food. I'm going to see if I can keep finding or coming up with some creative recipes that are more edible than what I was doing that first week, because that was pretty rough. So definitely not going to go that route again if I can help it. I don't really think I have much else to report. Actually, one of the things Jeff said in his email, he thought we should shoot for going pro on this competition, and I appreciate that vote of confidence, and I guess it was Arnold Schwarzenegger who said that if you want to be the champion, you got to think like the champion, and stuff like that. And I'm kind of a pessimist. I'm kind of my own worst critic, and my wife calls me Eeyore from time to time because that's kind of my pervasive mood at times, and I wouldn't disagree with that. But anyway, I appreciate that coming from him. That is an incredible compliment, and I'm gonna do my best. I think I'm just gonna be thrilled. I told him I'm gonna be thrilled just to cross that finish line, and if I can place in the top 5, awesome, and I guess a dream would be to turn pro at like your very first competition, but who knows? It's happened before. I don't think it's going to happen this time, but yeah, I'm going to give it my all and push my body as far as I can and see how it goes. So that's that. I just wanted to briefly talk about bodybuilders, and because I was really thinking about it this past week, and when you think bodybuilders, you think the big like baby Huey guys that weigh 200, 250 plus, and not even like the guys that are on steroids. Like I know those guys are just monsters. I mean, even there's some natural bodybuilders out there who are just huge guys, and you know, I think that has to do with body type, and I think that's why they have weight classes in bodybuilding competitions. But I think as a society in general, I think we associate bodybuilder with massive, massive guy, massive muscle. And, you know, I don't think that's wrong, but, you know, I was on Instagram and I was kind of checking out some of the natural bodybuilders and stuff on there. And, you know, if you start looking, you know, the different weight classes and things, like, it kind of puts things in perspective. There's actually a guy, I saw him last year at the competition that I went to as a spectator, and I think he has since turned pro. I think he got his pro card with natural bodybuilding. I think his name's Romeo Estrada, and the guy has like a phenomenal physique. I mean, obviously he has to because he's got a pro card. But, you know, if you look at the guy, like, he's lean. Like, he's kind of a smaller, thinner guy. You know, I shouldn't say smaller, but he's still just completely ripped and shredded, and he's incredible on stage. Like, the pictures and stuff on his Instagram account are phenomenal. It's like a phenomenal inspiration, you know. And I was kind of showing my wife some of those pictures, and I was trying to explain to her, you know, that there are sort of what I call skinny bodybuilders. Like, there are bodybuilders who aren't big, massive guys. So I don't know if that makes sense or not, but I guess I'm just trying to think of where I fall in that you know, in that scheme. And like I said, I think I'm going to be maybe a light middleweight. I can't imagine I'm going to be a heavy lightweight. I think lightweight's under 165. You know, which in my opinion, I would rather be at the top of the middleweight class if that's how it turns out, because, you know, I think you are better off being the bigger of the class, you know, provided that you're shredded and all that stuff, of course. But I think, you know, if you're up there with a bunch of other guys, if you're the biggest one and you got the same conditioning as the other guys, you know, you're obviously going to get points for size, even though I know they consider definition and symmetry, and I think, you know, size is supposed to be in there, but not as important. And I don't know if I completely agree with that. I think at the end of the day, obviously, they're, all things being equal, they're going to pick the guy who's got the most muscle development, the biggest guy. So anyway, that's just kind of my 2 cents on it. I'm sure I'll rehash that again and talk about it, but just wanted to kind of throw that out there too. So anyway, let me show you what one of these meals looks like that I prepared. I'm going to open up the fridge here. That's Jack. He's upset because he didn't get any of my dinner tonight, because I actually can't spare any at this point because I'm weighing everything. Normally he'd get a taste. Sorry, buddy. Yeah, I know. Okay, so yeah, here's the refrigerator, and you can kind of see I've got all my meals for the week and my wife's. I actually marked hers with her first initial because I didn't weigh hers exactly. They're a little lighter on the proteins and things like that. And you know, while I'm here, actually, let me show you the freezer. The freezer's actually jam-packed. Like, that's some chicken that I bought. I've actually got a lot of chicken in there that's wrapped up and frozen. So I've got that, actually, and there was a ton of turkey at the grocery store this week that was like $2 off, because I think it was getting ready to expire. So, you know, I bought that right up, and I froze that as soon as I got home. You know, and I got lots of the broccoli florets and stuff that can be microwaved. So it's looking like I might not have to get a grocery delivery next week, maybe. Yeah, I've got some pizza rolls up there. Those aren't going to see the light of day anytime soon. And I think I've also got some ice cream sort of back there. Maybe that's why I've got this thing so full, because that way I won't be tempted to pull that mint chocolate chip ice cream out that I know is back there. Okay, so that's the freezer, and yeah, let's see. This is one of the meals that I did. I can bring that over here. And just pop the top off. And yeah, You kind of see that. I think that's really good. That's like sweet potatoes. That's some of that Gold Rush chicken I talked about. You know, I put some little like green onions on top as a garnish, which actually make it taste really nice. And I just put a slice of lemon in there, which is also pretty nice. And that's just like resting on some grilled asparagus that I made. So I'm actually looking forward to food again this week. It was pretty decent. And you know, as far as like the dinners and stuff, I've been kind of, probably can't see me, I've been kind of improvising those as I go. With the MyFitnessPal and whatnot, I've just been sort of figuring out what I can eat for dinner based on the calories and the macros that I have left for the day. So anyway, it's kind of cool because that way, you know, I can have a fresh meal that's freshly prepared in the evenings, because everything else is pretty much already cooked. And you know, it's nice to come home and have something that's you know, that's fresh. So anyway, I guess that's it. Like I said, just a brief update and a little more of my rambling. So all right, well, we're gonna do it this week, and I guess I'll check in a couple days.